What's up, SnEaKyNation? SnEaKy P here, back with all the news after week 1 in year number 3, with the 49ers getting a blowout victory over the Chicago Bears. Next up, we have a very good Denver Broncos team that picked our defense apart in the preseason. But first, let's check out some highlights. On the first play of the day, it is Tajay Veal getting the sack, forcing the fumble. The Bears would recover, but the first round pick for the 49ers looking good early on. Antoine Street, the first round pick for the Bears, getting intercepted by Navarro Bowman there. That would set the 49ers up with great field position. Then on second down and 10, Willie Snead with a nice reception down to the 9-yard line, a 16-yard gain. That would set up this Edison the field goal that would put the 49ers on top 3-0 early on over the Chicago Bears. The 49ers would get the ball back, though, on the left side. This is Corey Essex, the rookie out of Ohio State, who had a big game. Then on second down and 10, rolling outside the pocket on the right side, this is Fryer, who would take it all the way down to the 3-yard line. A 14-yard gain that would set up this Kirkland Marion touchdown as the 49ers go on top 10-0 early on over the Chicago Bears. The Bears looking to answer, though. Antoine Street finding Jared Cook with a perfect throw all the way down to the 35-yard line. That would set up this field goal, and we have a 10-3 ball game. Myers would knock it through the uprights there. The 49ers, though, looking to respond, and this is going to be Shaquan Fryer, another reception down to the 35-yard line. Then on third down and 5, Austin Seferian-Jenkins, signed in the offseason, will get his first touchdown as a 49er, and the Niners would jump out to an early 17-3 lead. Antoine Street, a bit of a panic throw from a young quarterback here, and it is DeMarcus Avery reaping the benefits with the interception, moved over to safety in the offseason. He is having a good start to the season here. Then on first down and 10, the very next play, it's Austin Seferian-Jenkins, and he would take it for his second touchdown of the day. And the 49ers start running away with this one. 24-3 would be the score. However, Antoine Street looking to make up for that interception will find Alshon Jeffrey down the field to the 34-yard line there. Then on third down and 10, play action, Street going to find Connor Smiley, the second-year pro, down to the 11-yard line. On second down and goal into the end zone, it is Alshon Jeffrey with the touchdown, and we have a 24-10 ball game. The first touchdown pass of Antoine Street's young career. However, time is still on the board, and the 49ers would like to make something happen. It's Kirkland Marion down the left side to the 22-yard line. And then on first down and 10, the very next play, Dimitri Todman, his first touchdown of the season for the 49ers. 31 points in the first half for the 49ers here. The Bears trying to get some more points on the board before halftime. This is Cook down the left side of the 21. Then on 4th and 18, they will get another field goal. 31-13 would be the score going into halftime. One of the best halves we have seen from the 49ers. That's about an 8-yard run by Carlos Hyde. However, that is Cody Kessler getting hit, and Bullard would get the interception for the Bears defense there. Trying to get back into the game, they go for a long field goal, and it is just shy by Myers. So the 49ers, once again, good field goal position. They didn't move the ball a whole lot there, but they did move it enough for Joel Edison to kick a field goal. 34-13 would be the score. Antoine Street, though, trying to get the Bears back in. He dumps it off to Williams after drawing the attention of the defense, and Williams down the right side of the field all the way to the 19-yard line. Then a read option by Street, fooling the defense, fooling DeMarcus Avery, a 16-yard carry to the 3-yard line, and then Langford into the end zone. That is a touchdown for the Chicago Bears, and once again, only a 2-possession ball game. The Bears still very much in this. However, Kirkland Marion moving the ball down the left side of the field, but that would set up this 2nd and 9 throw right to Freeman. Not a good pass at all. The Bears would get the ball back, but they were unable to do anything with it, and that would set up this Corey Essex touchdown from 32 yards out, the first touchdown of his young career, and the 49ers would put this one away. 41-20 with about a minute to go. Antoine Street hoping for a miracle, and DeMarcus Avery, his second interception of the day. The 49ers would go on to win 41-20 over the Chicago Bears. However, next up we got the Denver Broncos, one of the best teams in the NFL. They picked us apart in the preseason, and this is going to be a very tough matchup, especially being on the road. We already have the gold on defense. Let's go ahead and get some practice in for offense because we are going to need some points on the board. Obviously, a great first game from the 49ers. It's really not going to mean much if we turn around and get a big loss to the Broncos, though. Chris Owusu with the grab there. Kessler on the right side, going to find Corey Essex that time. Kessler again looking to throw. We'll find Austin Seferian-Jenkins. 3 for 3 so far. Make that 4 for 4. It's Seferian-Jenkins again. And for the gold medal, pressure coming. And Kessler going to get hit as he threw the ball that time. Good for a silver medal. Would have liked a gold, especially starting off so well there, but ultimately it just would not happen. And that will bring us to our press question. A lot of people are wondering, what are the 49ers' plans for Austin Schobel? And I think we can afford to bring him along slowly. We obviously have a lot of faith in him as a player right now, but obviously we just saw what Cody Kessler did in week number 1. We are very thrilled with what he is doing to this point right now. And we are getting Austin Schobel some training in the practices, so we're getting him some XP that way. And the goal is to ultimately bring him along slowly and then, have him ready in case something happens with Cody Kessler. Let's go ahead and check out all of the scores from week number 1. The Lions will open the season with a 42-21 victory over the Atlanta Falcons. The Lions went 9-7 last year. The Falcons went 9-7 last year, but a very good win from the Lions early on in this one. Theo Riddick, 17 carries, 155 yards, and 3 touchdowns. A long of 86, a monster game from him. Devontae Freeman held to 49 yards, 3.5 yards a carry. He did get a touchdown there, though. Receiving the ball, Marvin Jones, 9 catches, 122 yards for him. Then Mohamed Sanu, 5 for 128. Julio Jones is back from injury. He had 6 catches for 95 yards. Anthony, not a big game from him or Eubanks there. Either of the second-year pros not doing a whole lot in this one. Whitehead would lead the way with 10 tackles on the day. Sacks, we got 1.5 by Jarrett. Whitehead and Vance would each get 1, and then Thomas Davis signing with the Panthers rival getting a half a sack there. Fumbles forced, nothing, or Cyprian forcing and recovering 1 there. 20-17, the Dolphins with a victory over the Ravens. The Dolphins went 7-9 last year. The Ravens 5-10-1, and Joe Flacco actually looked very good here. Obviously, he's been struggling with issues, but look at this. Drew Brees, 193 yards, 2 touchdowns for his brand new team. He just won the Super Bowl with the Saints. They decided to not bring him back. And he's getting a win with his brand new team, the Dolphins here. Again, they went 7-9 last year, looking to take the next step. Here is Quentin Patton, the former 49er, leading the way in catches for the Ravens. 6 catches on the day. Dylan Burks in his second year, a pretty solid effort there. Defensively, CJ Mosley would lead the way in tackles. Sacks, we have Smith and Smith each getting 1 there. A bunch of players going to get a half a sack on the day. A whole bunch of players. Interceptions, nothing going on there. Fumbles forced and fumbles recovered. And we have 1 by Tanner that would be recovered and 1 by Howard that would be recovered. 52-14, the Chargers with a blowout victory over the Indianapolis Colts. And the Colts are just getting used to it at this point, having the worst record last year. The Chargers now at 1-0. They went 7-9 last year. They went 14-2 the year before, so they're trying to get back to that. And definitely a good start to the season for them. Again, the Colts had the number 1 overall pick. They went defense, actually getting Milburn, a player that I viewed as probably the best player in the draft. So a good selection there, but ultimately, offensively, they're not getting it done. Defensively, they really didn't have a good game either. But look at Enrique Milburn, selected number 1 overall. 12 tackles in his NFL debut. Then there's Gerald Hodges Jr., who the 49ers traded to the Colts. He had a solid outing there as well. Sacks, the Chargers getting quite a few on the day. Colts would get a few as well. Interceptions, Verrett and Hayward making the plays there. Fumbles forced, we have 2 by Ingram. He would recover 1. A rookie Latimer would force and recover 1 there. Perry would force and recover 1 as well. 17-13, the Panthers with a victory over their division rival, the Buccaneers. Panthers went 9-6-1 last year. The Buccaneers at 7-9. And despite the Panthers going 9-6-1, we didn't really feel like Cam Newton had a great season last year, and he certainly does not look that great to start off this season. It was enough to get a win for the Panthers, but they are heavily relying on that defense right now. And so far it's working for him, but Cam Newton's going to need to get back to that MVP form if this team would like to take the next step in terms of making the playoffs and having success in the playoffs. Interceptions, nothing going on there. Fumbles forced and fumbles recovered, we have nothing going on there either. 24-20, the Bills with a victory over the Jets. The Bills went 10-6 last year. The Jets ended up going 5-11. And Cardell Jones, another solid game from him. He was starting at quarterback for the Bills to end last year, and he is, still holding on to that job, doing pretty well right now, getting another win. Sammy Watkins, 7 catches, 117 yards, and a touchdown for him. A touchdown for Johnson as well down the list. And then let's go ahead and check out defense. Leading the way in tackles is Gilmore with Brown. Sacks 2 by Wilkerson on the day. The rookie Leonard going to have 1 there as well for the Bills. McCoon, a second-year pro out of Pittsburgh, would get a sack as well. Moving on, interceptions. We have 2 interceptions, 1 by Burris and 1 by Revis. Fumbles forced and fumbles recovered. 2 fumbles forced, neither of which would be recovered. 28-24, the Jags with a victory over the Titans. The Jags went 5-10-1 last year. They went 9-7 the year before, so really took a step backwards. The Titans went 7-9 last year, so neither team really doing all that great last year. Both teams trying to take the next step, obviously. Blake Bortles has usually been pretty solid for the Jags. Not a great game here today, but he did do enough to get the win. Receiving, Allen Robinson, 8 catches, 132 yards for him. Frank Barrett, a rookie out of Boise State, 6 for 74 yards there. Alan Hearns would have a touchdown as well. Kadarius Folston not doing a whole lot in his second-year debut there. Only 2 catches on the day, expecting more from him. DeMarco Bullitt, not an outstanding effort either there. Woodyard would lead the way in tackles. Patrick in his second year would lead the way with a sack and a half. A whole bunch of players going to split a sack here. Interceptions, 1 by Woodyard, 1 by Smith, Compton, and Derek Morgan getting the interceptions on the day. Fumbles forced and fumbles recovered. 3 fumbles forced, all of which would be recovered, including Mac Hackett, a rookie cornerback who we actually scouted quite a bit. 24-13, the Giants with a victory over their division rival, the Eagles there. Giants went 5-11 last year. The Eagles went 7-9, and Bruce Allred, the first quarterback taken, not playing a whole lot there, but he did throw for 87 yards. Zach Ritchie getting the start over Carson Wentz, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions for him. And then Nick Warfield, the number 1 running back selected in the draft, 4.2 yards a carry for him. A solid start to his NFL career. Dorial Green Beckham, 8 catches, 77 yards there. Zach Ertz would have a touchdown on the day, and Harris would have a touchdown too. Defensively, Irving would lead the way in tackles there. Sacks, 1 by Robinson, Barwin, and Vernon. Fox and Jenkins would split 1. Interceptions, 2 by Janoris Jenkins on the day. Fumbles forced and fumbles recovered. Vernon would force 1. It would not be recovered. 31-28, the Redskins with a victory over the Texans. The Redskins went 7-9 last year. The Texans went 10-6, so a great game by the Redskins to get a win over a good Texans team. Denton Ritchie throwing a touchdown. Only 1 attempt. It looked like it was probably on a fake because it only went for about 3 yards there, but he did get a touchdown. DJ Pryor, a rookie, would get a touchdown for the Redskins there as well. Receiving, Jordan Reed, 7 catches, 61 yards for him. Hopkins over 100 yards on the day. He did have a touchdown. 2 touchdowns for Will Fuller there as well. Sims with a touchdown. Defensively, Cravens leading the way in tackles. Sacks, we have 1.5 by Chris Baker, 1 by Copels. Few players going to split a sack there. Interceptions, 1 by Norman, Alexander, Breland, and Johnson on the day. Fumbles forced and fumbles recovered, and nothing going on there. 31-20, the Raiders with a victory over the Browns. The Raiders went 8-7-1 last year. The Browns 4-11-1, and Houston Church continues to play well. It does not result in wins for this Browns team, at least not yet. DeAndre Washington, 3 touchdowns on the day. Receiving, Amari Cooper, 7 catches, 102 yards for him. Josh Gordon, 6 catches for 101 yards. Corey Coleman would have a touchdown, as would Barnage there. And then Rossum, the second-year pro for the Raiders. Defensively, Kirksey leading the way in tackles, sacks. Hardy, Mack, and Agba each getting 1 interception. Stiff, Hayden, and Felix all going to have 1. Felix in his second year out of Missouri there. Fumbles forced, 1 by Emerson, and would be recovered. 31-8 in a blowout victory for the Denver Broncos. And again, this is the team the 49ers are getting ready to play, and a very good Seahawks team struggling against them in this one. The Broncos went 10-6 last year. The Seahawks went 7-9 last year. But we saw the Broncos in the preseason. We know how good they are. And after going 10-6 with young quarterbacks, as you expect them to grow, this team is only going to get better. This is going to be a very tough matchup for the 49ers. Parker Rich, the rookie out of Wisconsin, with the catch there. Sherman would lead the way in tackles with Wagner. Miller Dent, the rookie defensive tackle out of Richmond, who was drafted very high, I believe in the first round by the Seahawks, would have a sack there. Bostic and Stewart with the interceptions on the day. Fumbles forced and fumbles recovered, one by Lane. He would recover 28-14. The Chiefs with a victory over the Rams. The Chiefs and Rams both went 9-7 last year. And Jared Goff, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. Alex Smith, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Jamal Charles, a great game from him. And then Leonard Mellett and Fontenot, both rookie running backs for the Rams, would each have a touchdown there. And Lacey, a rookie for the Chiefs, would have a touchdown. Of course, we saw the injury to Todd Gurley in the preseason. He is out for an extended period of time, but it's nice to see the Rams rookies get some touchdowns there for him. Zachary Orr would lead the way in tackles. Quinn with 1.5 sacks. Aaron Donald would add a sack as well. Howard would have one too. Marcus Peters, the only interception on the day. Fumbles forced and fumbles recovered. Nothing going on there. 22-20. The Cardinals with a victory over the Vikings. The Cardinals 11-5 last year. The Vikings only went 4-12. And look at this. It looks like Carson Palmer down with an injury. Savage actually leading the team to the victory here. But again, the Cardinals won the division last year. If Carson Palmer is out for an extended period of time, that could really hurt their chances of winning the division again and might open the door a little bit for the 49ers. Obviously, the Rams very good as well, but they started off 0-1 too. Defensively, Brothers would lead the way in tackles. Sacks, 2.5 by Linval, Joseph Jones, and Campbell would each get a sack as well. Interceptions, 1 by Buchanan, Steven, and Bademosi there. And then fumbles forced and fumbles recovered, and 2 fumbles forced, 1 by Darius Chekwa in his second year. Williams would recover his as well. 44-10, a blowout victory for James Vallejo. 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, outdueling Aaron Rodgers on the day. And we talked about how good James Vallejo was throughout this series, but you got to remember, both of these teams were 11-5 last year, so for the Patriots to get a blowout victory like this is incredibly impressive. And again, James Vallejo, you cannot say enough about him. 1 Offensive Rookie of the Year for the AFC, and showing why this year. He also made the Pro Bowl as a rookie, and 5 touchdowns to start things off here. Unbelievable. Chung and Bradford would have the interceptions. Fumbles forced, we have 1 by Chung. He would recover it as well. 41-34, the Bengals with a victory over the Steelers. The Steelers were in the Super Bowl last year. The Bengals won it 2 years ago, and the Bengals would get a very nice victory. But look at this. Phillip Rollins, 8 of 11 for the rookie out of Auburn, selected in the first round as an eventual replacement for Roethlisberger there, getting some game action early on in his career there. But the Bengals, a big victory for them. Again, the Steelers went 12-4 last year. They made the Super Bowl. They did lose to the Saints there, but to see them get an early season loss is pretty crazy, especially by a Bengals team hoping to get back into the playoffs after failing to make it last year. Look at Sean Kaysen, 2 receiving touchdowns by the rookie out of New Hampshire there. Defensively, Shazier would lead the way in tackles with carry. Sacks, 4.5 by Tuitt. Monster game from him, and did a great job getting pressure on the Bengals there. No interceptions on the day. Fumbles forced and fumbles recovered. Nothing going on there. 42-27, the Cowboys with a victory over the Saints. So both teams that were in the Super Bowl last year lost. The Saints replacing Drew Brees with Kirkland Keaton, a rookie out of Oklahoma. 234 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception for him. And I don't know why they decided to not bring Drew Brees back. They did spend their first round selection on Keaton. He obviously looked very solid in that week 1 loss there, but I don't know. If you win the Super Bowl, you bring back your quarterback. That's just kind of what I think, especially when your quarterback is Drew Brees. Harris Blevins would lead the way in tackles with 14 sacks, 3 by Jordan, 2 by Rankins, 2 by Lawrence. Kruger would have 1 as well. Interceptions, 1 by Breu here. I don't know how to say that. 1 by Jones. Fumbles forced, Blevins would force one, Vaccaro would force one, and recover it. Players of the week, Theo Riddick, 17 carries, 155 yards, 3 touchdowns. He also had 5 receptions, 69 yards, and a touchdown there as well. Janoris Jenkins, 4 tackles and 2 interceptions, 2 at 4.5 sacks, 7 tackles. And then James Vallejo, 24-38, 359 yards, 5 passing touchdowns for the second-year pro there. Outstanding young player. And that is going to be it for this episode. We have already seen the Broncos roster in the preseason, so we know what to expect. It's going to be a tough game. Thank you guys so much for watching this video and all the support throughout this series. And I will see you guys in week 2 as the 49ers take on the Denver Broncos. Later.